Hey, what's up? Merry Christmas! Oh, shit. Weekly metal reviews. Tyler and Sam. We're talking about the album Below. This hasn't happened in a long time. Holy shit.
Yeah, reunion.
Yep, reunion tour. Weekly metal reviews style. But we're here to talk about, the album Below. Yeah, you can read it. This is the follow-up to The Process of Human Extermination, which came out in, 2010, 11?
Yeah.
Something like that. This is their second album, and it's Hellbound. Came out September 10th, which is a couple days ago. We're here to talk about this shit. What's your hopes?
My initial opinion, when I first heard a song they released, it's just like a single, I guess. They released a couple songs ahead of the album. I listened to the first song I listened to, I only listened to one. My initial perception on it was that it hasn't changed too much. The band hasn't changed too much, which is both good and bad, but a lot of this is based on me not listening to this style of music so much anymore. I moved away from it a little bit. I used to listen to a lot of Whitechapel, I Declare War, the heavier music and stuff. It's not that I don't listen to it anymore. It's I moved away from it and expanded my musical horizons. But it's coming back to a band like this. I haven't listened to their first album in a long time. I loved it. When I first discovered this band, I thought it was great. I wonder why I haven't heard of them, listened to them sooner. I think that was a couple of years ago, or maybe a year. It was a couple of years ago I got their first album. I was blown away by it. Now, this album, the thing that they don't lose is, which I guess it's how you look at it. The thing that they don't lose is the aggression, the blast beating, the riffing that is insane, that's inventive, that's cool for their genre and everything. For what they do, they pull out some cool riffs and everything, and some interesting breakdowns, what have you, and the whole 9 yards of what this band is. It's good because they don't lose that ferocious attack that they bring. That when you listen to Fit for an Autopsy, you have that. They didn't completely change up their style. They didn't, switch genres or something, or they didn't lose anything. But in my opinion, they didn't gain something that I was looking for in a sophomore album. Not that they necessarily had to, but they didn't, in my opinion. The riffing is still there, good riffs. I'm not saying that, it's exactly the same as the last album. It's not. They have new riffs, new everything. It's just, there was nothing huge and new that was brought to the table. There was some more melody and, some, I guess, just different things that they did, but nothing that was way out of the box. And not that they needed to. That's kind of where I'm torn between this. It's good for what it is. What this band does, it's good. And sometimes I just like to look for something new that's like, oh, wow, that's new. No band has ever done that before. But they don't, they're not trendsetters or anything. They don't go way out in the world and create anything new. They didn't discover a new continent or anything. But what they retain is their talent, their, like I said, ferociousness, their aggression, their skill, and what they do for their genre, for what you can classify them in as deathcore, I guess, they do it better than a lot of other bands. They're one of the top bands of their genre, of this, of the new music coming out. They're one of the top bands, but I don't know. I guess I was looking for something new, but for what it is, I definitely appreciate it, and it may not be something that I will outright listen to so much anymore, but it definitely is impressive in itself, and that is what I go with.
Yes. This album is good, like Sam was saying, but it's not, the best thing. When I was talking to Sam, I felt like this album almost randomly popped out of nowhere. It was just kind of announced, and I didn't even know they were working on a new album, and then boom, it's out, like, pretty quickly. And, I love the process of Human Extermination, much like Sam. It's one of my favorite deathcore albums. Anymore, when it comes to deathcore, I don't go digging for new bands. Like, oh, I really want a new deathcore band to listen to. Unless this band just magically, pops up and I'm like, holy shit, this is really good. AKA, Dark Sermon is a band that came out this year that I really just fucking loved. And they're deathcore, but they're different. They're unique, and they kind of, expand themselves. And I feel the same way about Fit for an Autopsy. I won't go looking for new deathcore that much anymore because it's all the same fucking shit that's been done since 2007. But Fit for an Autopsy has always been different. They've been a lot more aggressive than any other deathcore band out there, and they've just been a lot more, violent. It's, and you just get this very violent feeling from their music that you just want to fuck shit up. This album starts off with the song The Great Gift of the World, which has a very eerie Richard-like intro. And it's just, I thought it was cool. That right there shows that they have expanded a little bit. They've expanded their sound to incorporate different things. I thought like Sam kind of mentioned, the melody that's found in here and the ambience really adds a whole nother layer to their music that, while it can be heavy as shit and aggressive, and just all up in your face, it can also add this very, ambient part that really changes the mood of the song and makes it very dark and all that good stuff. But overall, I felt that this album, it goes by quick, and that's a sign of a pretty decent album. But I felt that it blended together just ever so slightly. The ketchup is slightly touching the mustard. You know what I mean? That was bad.
I know what you mean, though.
If you followed me, it's just they're not separated. Not each little spot of ketchup is not completely fully separated from each spot of mustard.
Each song doesn't entirely have its own separate identity that stands out a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to say it metaphorically. Yeah, I'm stupid, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. It blends together a little bit, and I think mostly because of I feel they rely a little bit too much on breakdowns. And while their breakdowns are awesome, they're a staple of their music, they're very heavy at times, very unique. At times they really fit where the song's going, they fit the mood of the part and everything. But I feel that they should step outside a little bit. And when they step outside of it, it's pretty awesome. There's some very cool, I thought straight up fucking death metal parts on here. Just amazing blast beats, some insane drumming on here. But overall, very solid guitar work as well. I mean, I'm not knocking on these guys of not having talent at all, and all they play is breakdowns. I just feel they rely on them too much. But overall, I mean, this album's good. I feel like they took a step in the right direction with this, but it's not as big as a step as they should have taken, maybe. They took about this much of a step when they should have took this much of a step. I expect them to keep growing as their career goes on, as they, keep writing music and stuff. But overall, this is a very solid album. I think if you enjoyed the process of Human Extermination, you'll really like this. So, some songs that really stuck out to me. I thought the song Tremors was awesome. I thought the appearance by Vincent Bennett in the last song, The Travelers, I think it's called, that was pretty cool. So there's some weird-ass song titles on here, such as Children of the Corn Syrup, Mother of the Year. I don't know the meaning behind them, but,
There was some song with another guest vocalist, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
I'm not sure either. But thank you, Bud Dwyer. That's his song.
What? Oh.
Thank you, Bud Dwyer. Anyways, and one thing also, really quick, is I felt that sound was a lot better produced than Process of Human Extermination, but I almost feel that this is a band that should keep their production maybe a little bit more on the raw side. Because, you know, the Process of Human Extermination had that very raw, very loud, fucking enormous sound that was just so raw and so amazing. This one's a little bit better produced, probably because they're on a much better label. They're on E1 Music now, so. Any last thoughts? Nate Johnson sounds fucking awesome on here as well. Different types of vocals. He does these, like, you know, shout type things, which I thought was cool.
He expanded his you know, talents a little bit.
Yeah. They all did.
This band sort of reminds me of the Black Dahlia Murder in a way. I think from the last album to this one, they stick to what they do best, which we can all agree the Black Dahlia Murder does, and it works for them. And the Black Dahlia Murder is one of those bands that what they do is still inventive and it's their own style, whereas it's a lot harder to be a deathcore band because a lot of it is, I don't know, when you get to bands like Love Them or Hate Them, Chelsea Grin, you go from Desolation of Eden to My Damnation, which is a huge step up, in my opinion. And you go to bands like Whitechapel, who are, you know, they are dominant in the, if you still call it deathcore scene, which I guess they're considered deathcore, when they go from album to album and you hear a progression. I'm not sure if it's just a one album thing, and I'm sure each song is different if you really get into it, but after one listen, they didn't, you know, expand in this world of music coming out nowadays and everything. A lot of it's all the same, and people are jaded and everything. And this just, it didn't hit me like something that was beyond something I've ever heard before. It's good for what it is what I'm saying. And it's a very good album. But I hope, and I would expect this band in the future to put out something that's, you know, new and different. To really get, you know, from A New Era of Corruption to the self-titled or Desolation of Eden to My Damnation. Something that kind of, I think they have their sound, but something that's just a jump, not just a step, is what I'm kind of looking for. Because, you know, you really have to keep moving and progressing in this era of music. Not too many bands can really stick to their bread and butter and still get by, unless they have, you know, unless they're like, I don't know, the Black Dahlia Murder or something. But, I don't know, I'm looking for them to do something new in the future, and this album in itself is good for what it is what I'm saying.
Completely agree.
And,
rating?
The rating, for what it is, I would give it like, I don't know, an avid deathcore listener and everything would be like 8 out of 10, but just the music I listen to nowadays and, you know, how I've expanded here and there, I'd still say 8 out of 10. That's
what I was going to say too. 8 out of 10. Solid album. Check out Hellbound by Fit for an Autopsy. Let us know what you think. And thanks for watching. Thanks for everything. Bye.